Hello, everybody, and welcome back to a new soft-spoken video. Welcome back to another monthly Letterboxd recap videos. The last one I did for September did not do well at all, but I'm here making videos, well, not for myself, but I'm making them for fun, and then however many people watch them, that's fine. I'm still gonna make them because I enjoy making these videos. They're almost like a video diary. Video diary of all the movies I've watched in a month. I'll preface this video by saying that I'm quite tired. I'm filming this after work, and I kind of, it's not that I don't want to, because I want to film, but I'm not fully, maybe I shouldn't be filming right now. Maybe I should just go to bed. But I also don't want to miss an upload because I missed it recently, and I felt really bad about it. So here we are talking about the movies I watched in October. Of course, we're almost at the end of November, but alas. That being said, because I'm tired, I will probably not go too into each movie, and I'll probably also skip any. I usually give a summary of the plot. I think I'll skip that because if you're interested in the movies, you can go and watch them. If you don't know anything about the movies, you can look them up. It's fine. I have to keep it simple. Okay, so I've started off the month the opposite of strong. The first movie I watched in October was Friday the 13th, the 2009 reboot, remake, whatever the hell that was. It was terrible. It's a terrible movie. It's so bad, but it's not funny bad. It's just bad. The reason why I say reboot, remake is because I suppose it is a remake, but it's of course not. Well, it's not a remake of the original because, spoiler, in this one Jason is the killer. I mean, it's on the poster. So it's not the first one. So I guess it's a remake of any of the other movies, but like a generic one. And then they also tried to incorporate other elements like the mind reading girl. I can't remember which one was it. Was it number 6? I can't even remember. But so they also incorporated some type of psychological elements, and then the movie, it's like 2 parts. No, let me explain. The first part of the movie is not even the movie itself, and it goes on for so long. It's like, when movies have a little setup sequence, with some characters, but then cut back to the present, and of course the real characters of the movie are probably connected to the little, let's call it flashback. But the first scene goes on for so long that I really thought that was the movie. It's just bad. It's just really bad. Another thing is that I thought the movie was incredibly dark, as in visually dark. I found myself going like I could barely see what was happening. And I know that all the canonical, the original 80s movies, I know that a lot of the times they cut away from the gore, and it was a lot of the times just a way to save money. But they also do it here, and it's like, the movie's so bad, at least give me some gore, and they didn't even give me that, and it was just like, I don't know, it was bad. It was really bad. My review says the opposite of stupendous, and I encourage you to watch the movie just to see this infamous line where a character uses the adjective stupendous, and it's just the most like early 2000s, just like gross. That's the other thing. This movie has a lot of gross horny early 2000s vibes with a sprinkle of homophobia and a sprinkle of misogyny. Well, more than a sprinkle, a good spoonful of misogyny. Um, yeah, so honestly, skip it. I had to watch it because I love the franchise, as I've said before on this channel. But it's just a no for me. Just a no. Next. See, I wish I had more mental capacity to fully discuss why I didn't like The Substance that much. I still gave it 3 stars because I have to admit the cinematic experience was it, it's one of those movies that you have to, not to quote Harry Styles, but it's one of those movies where you want to go to the cinema to experience them. I also have to admit that although I mostly didn't like it, I have been thinking a lot about it. And that in itself is a credit to give to the movie. But I guess to summarize it briefly, I didn't love The Substance because I read it more as exploitation than a feminist piece of art. And then also, so I guess the first 2 parts of the movie, I was kind of like, okay, I could get behind this. Let's see where we're heading. The last act completely lost me. I turned to my boyfriend. I was like, and it's not because I was turned off by the gore and the body horror. I love that stuff. Like or not, I don't love it, but like I like it, I enjoy it. There are a lot of examples of body horror in movies that I really enjoy. So it's like, so it's not that. It's more just like, I don't know. The end was just like, I feel like the movie could have been a short and it could have ended. I'll tell you exactly. The movie could have been a short and it would have ended with the first sort of like either the first sign of the protagonist turning old or yeah, her just like emerging fully as like, again, see, I don't like that it's like an old witch, but like a caricature of an old woman. And you just see her, hunched over, you see the frizzy hair, and then it cuts, and that's the end of the film. I think that would have been really effective. Yeah, too long. But apart from that, great performance, great visuals, like visually really cool. I am obsessed. See, one thing that I'm obsessed with is the promo for The Substance itself, like in the movie. The have you ever dreamt of a younger version of you? And it's like, doo, 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 doo. I love that. I don't know why it's stuck in my head, and I think it's so cool. But everything else, I don't know. I also didn't understand some of the in movie, like in universe laws, like how can she be? What's the protagonist? Because I'm thinking Sue, but Sue, of course, is the young counterpart. What is her freaking name? Anyway, Demi Moore. How can Demi Moore have it? How can Demi Moore need to unlock her knee because now it's an old knee? And if you've seen the scene, you've seen the scene. But then a couple scenes later, once she's fully an old lady, how is it possible that she sustains a full body fight, like fully, you know, like a fist fight, and just like she's been thrown against the table and she's just like thrown off the stairs and things like that? It's like, how is she sustaining that? If she was an actual old lady, she would have been already like, you know. Anyway, I don't know if I'm nitpicking, but yeah, that didn't make much sense for me. Third movie. See, maybe I should differentiate this one more from no, I guess it's fine. A very sweet movie. I watched The Parent Trap. I was actually babysitting that night, so it wasn't my choice. It was the choice of the the little human that I was taking care of. And it's so sweet. I don't remember, well, I remember watching it as a child, but in drips and drabs, I can't remember watching it fully, committing to the full movie. And it's just really sweet. I mean, it's the Parent Trap. What's not to love? Apart from very neglectful and insane parents, like that thing would never happen in real life. But apart from that, yeah, it's really lovely. Very, very upper middle class. I mean, come on, like both parents are so wealthy, and you kind of, the setup makes you think that the London girl, the British girl, is very posh and uptight and wealthy, and you can only imagine she lives in a beautiful house in London, which eventually you see. And the other one is a more down to earth American girl, like, and you kind of, I picture her, because again, see, I couldn't remember exactly everything, but I picture her house as more like, yeah, maybe middle class, but like dad owns a full on vineyard. Like, that is clearly wealthy as hell. He's not just, he's simply not posh. It's just because he doesn't live in London that he doesn't look, I don't know. They both have live in, like the mom has the butler and dad has a live in nanny slash cook. Crazy, crazy rich people. But yeah, not much else to say. Just a lovely view, lovely viewing experience, and yeah, that's about it. That was the Parent Trap. Next, I finally showed my boyfriend Carrie, the original Carrie. I've never seen the remake. 4 stars. It's simply, it's one of the most horrifying movies in my experience. Apart from the iconic pig blood scene, the horror of religion and fanatism, it always is always very effective to me. And also the horror of abusive parents, like, I don't know, the fact that the horror lives in your house and is so close to you, that's, yeah, that's horrifying. And also it's a very satisfying horror movie because of course Carrie gets her revenge on everyone. So it's kind of like, you go girl, go and kill them. um what else can I say about Carrie? I completely forgot that John Travolta was in it. Like, I was just like, hey, what are you doing here? Yeah, so Carrie, 4 stars. The next movie, okay, I'll give a little bit of the plot for this one because this was a very special viewing. So my boyfriend and I went to see Diciannove, by Giovanni Tortorici. And what can I say? Yeah, it was a very special viewing. It was part of the BFI London Festival, and I, yeah, it was just very special because the director was there, the main actor was there. I'll just read it to you, the plot. Leonardo, a 19-year-old student, leaves his hometown of Palermo to study economics in London. He soon grows restless and enrolls at the University of Siena to study literature before dropping out of school to study classics on his own. The following I can't speak. The following year, he travels to Turin, where he meets a man who will help him on his journey of self-discovery. I guess it's just like a slice of life, coming of age type of movie. It was just like, I don't know, it was very special to witness the first feature length movie of a new director, and I really enjoyed it because it's in Italian, and I love showing my boyfriend Italian movies because of course, they're part of me, they're part of my culture, they're part of who I am. And so, yeah, 4 stars, very, very special. I encourage everybody to go and watch it if you love coming of age movies, if you like stories of young people trying to figure out who they are and where they belong, also while being quite quite entitled and just arrogant, to be honest. The main character is quite arrogant and thinks that he has it all. No, thinks that knows it all, not that has it all. I am tired. The next movie is the Holy Grail, is the Bible, is the ultimate autumn October movie, Twilight. I love Twilight. I think I've said it before. I have the novel here. I read it as a preteen, but I've never read it as an adult. So I've never read this actual copy. I tried to 2 years ago, but I failed. But Twilight is just the perfect vibe. I want to visit Forks so badly. I want to go to the Pacific Northwest. I want to go to Portland. I want to go to Seattle. I just want to experience that part of the world and sit at the diner and have chips and ketchup. I'm obsessed. I honestly, like, I unironically love this movie so much. I ironically love the other ones. I really enjoy all the sequels, or the other installments in the franchise, but the original Twilight is so good, so iconic. Please revisit it if you haven't already. It's just a lot of fun, and yeah, not much else to say. Lots of love for Twilight. If you know, you know. Next, I watched Terrfier. Okay, so of course there was a lot of buzz around Terrfier 3, that made so much money in the box office, and it was just like, yeah, it was just crazy that a movie like that, a gore fest horror movie like that, would make so much money. So I've been interested in Terrfier for a long time, but I've always been too terrified to explore the movies. But now I'm deep into the lore. So in case you don't know, so Terrfier is the first feature length. It's extremely low budget. You can see that it's low budget. It's just like, I don't even want to say bad, because it's just like, it's just made with low resources, with a small amount of resources. But Art the Clown was actually featured in, I think, 3 or 4 shorts, which I still need to watch. I think they're on YouTube. One is Hallows Eve. One is, I can't remember the titles. Anyway, so I want to watch those. And then this is the first one. So Art the Clown is simply a killer clown. Such a simple concept, but executed in such an effective way. Like, I don't know, this clown is terrifying. The makeup, the mannerisms, I found it great. And then the gore. What can I say? The gore is, in the first one there's only one horrible scene, but it's so extreme that you can see it's fake, you know? So even in that horrible scene that I'm not even going to try and describe, but I don't know, it's really not that bad. I feel like, I don't want to say it's not that bad and then people go and watch it and get scarred. Definitely look up trigger warnings and things. But for example, for Terrfier 2, people said that Terrfier 2 really pushed boundaries. And there's that horrible bedroom scene, right? The infamous bedroom scene. I googled bedroom scene and I watched it on YouTube. Again, wouldn't recommend. I would probably go ahead and look for, trigger warnings, and just like maybe read the description first, because reading about things to me is different than seeing things. But I watched it and I was just like, yeah, this is horrible, but also human bodies don't work like that. Like, I don't know, you can't just, you know what I'm trying to say? Uh, It's so over the top and ridiculous that it didn't even bother me. And also, it went on for so long that it's like, again, at one point you would just faint. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Everybody's different. But I think I will go ahead and watch Terrifier 2. And then, of course, Terrifier 3. And, but first, maybe I'll watch the shorts. Yeah. So, all these things considered, I give it 2.5 because it's not that great of a movie. But I think it's a good setup for what's to come in the next movies. Yeah. Yeah, 2.5. Controversial, but the next one is The Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring. 3 stars. I have watched this movie many, many times. Um, I don't have much to say about it. I really enjoy it in the moment. Like, it's really good. But, like, I cannot get, I don't get swept away by the heart of it. Like, I didn't grow up with it. I don't have that emotional attachment. I can't connect with the characters the way a lot of people do. I mean, clearly it has a massive, fandom, and like people really, really, really resonate with these characters. I mean, my boyfriend is one of those people. Yeah, he's just that emotionally attached to it, and I'm just not. So I can recognize that it's good, but I can't give it more than 3 stars. Like, I just enjoy it. Plus, just fantasy is just not. It's just not really my thing. I don't know. Yeah. So sorry if it's controversial, but I don't love Lord of the Rings. Sorry. Sorry. Lock me up. Put me in jail. Next, I was so excited because I really, really wanted to watch this movie, rewatch it for a long time, and I finally got to rewatch it. So, the original. The original is so good. It's so like new metal Fight Club coded, like dingy warehouses and dingy apartments and like weirdly lit, like everything's like green and blue, and I don't know, the see, I'm tired so I don't have the words, but like the chaotic, like sped up scenes of like what's her face, in the big face trap, Amanda, like those scenes where she's just like shaking her head and like, but the camera is panning around her is so cool. It's just like such a cool movie, and it sets up such a great story because like I feel like people that have never seen the Saw movies think that Saw is just about the traps, and granted some movies are, but like, okay, sorry about that, my computer died and it stopped recording my audio. But what was I saying? I think the Saw movies get a bad rap. Like, people that have never watched Saw think that they're all about the traps, and that's fair enough, especially for certain movies. I also have to say I stopped watching them at number 7, but there's actually so much more to it. Like, it at its core, it's all about the investigation. It's all about Jigsaw. So yeah, it's all about putting the pieces together. But yeah, at their core, they're all about the investigation, trying to get John Kramer, and yeah, it's a lot more about that. I feel like, and just the movies are a bit all over the place in the sense that like the timeline is all it's all a bit messed up, and so a lot of the times at the end of the movie you figure out where the movie fits within the general timeline, And all of the times you figure out that certain events were happening before, but you thought they were happening afterwards. It gets quite confusing and also convoluted at times, but that's also the fun of it, I feel like. So yeah, Saw is a 3.5, probably 4. I'm gonna give it a 4. I really like the original, and I think I used to really like number 4, the one where Joe Kramer dies, or maybe the one where they do the autopsy and they find. I'm not gonna say. I can't remember. I can't remember. I watched them a few years ago, so yeah. And then the last movie, another King adaptation. So we had Carrie. Now this is Christine, and I thought it was gonna be bad. I did not think that a movie about a killer car was gonna be any good. But of course, it's John Carpenter, which came through and delivered a thrilling, engaging movie that it's so much. Of course, it is, but like it's so much more about the people that interact with Christine than the car itself. Of course, the car is just like, you know, I don't know, it's possessed by the devil. I don't know, it's cursed, whatever. But it says a lot. It's just a vessel to, talk about characters and how the characters interact with each other. And there's a lot about friendships and ego and how people change, and there's just a lot of fun. Nerdy high schooler Arnie Cunningham falls for Christine, a rusty 1958 Plymouth Fury, and becomes obsessed with restoring the classic automobile to her former glory. As the car changes, so does Arnie, there you go, whose newfound confidence turns to arrogance behind the wheel of his exotic beauty. Arnie's girlfriend Lee, and best friend Dennis reach out to him, only to be met by a fury like no other. Yeah, this is so much fun, and so well shot and so well acted, and I don't know, the story, the pacing is just perfect, and the kills are so good. Like, I thought I was gonna not like the kills, but the kills are so good. Yeah, honestly, a great movie to end the month on. So yeah, Christine was 4 stars. Okay, sorry if this video was a bit weird or a bit low. I've said this before, but then the videos turn out fine, I think. I don't know. I think I just would love, I don't know, it's winter, I'm tired, it's cold, and I would just wish days had, like, I wish I had my working week, my weekend, and I had one day just to film, just to edit. But alas, that's not the life I live. Maybe one day. Maybe one day. One girl can only dream. But I hope you're having a relaxing evening or a productive day whenever you're watching this video. And I'll see you in my next video.